battle for the Senate presidency and the speakership of the House of Representatives gained grounds in the week. First with APC governors throwing their weight behind the candidacy of former governor of Akwa Ibom State and former minority leader Godswill Akpabio. Now the governors, however, kept mum on the tussle for the speakership. Akpabio's chance was further brightened on Friday after 3 of the senators elect in the race for the Senate presidency stepped down for him. And we hear in the House of Representatives there's also attempts to build a consensus around Honorable Tajuddin Abbas representing Zaria Federal Constituency. But some lawmakers are actually having some challenges with building a consensus around that. And the issues have continued, and we will be taking a look at all of this happening in Nigeria's parliament, the National Assembly. And joining us to take a look at all of this on the issue of the speakership and the issues of consensus around the House of Representatives, especially with new members joining the race for the speakership, including the majority leader, Alassane Dogua. We'll have Honorable Sada Soli joining us right here in the studio to help us understand all of this, especially after the meeting of the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, which met and eventually there was more on the issues of zoning. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about all of these things that are happening. The consensus building here and there. There's been unclear waters, especially in that of the House of Representatives. Why we hear that the consensus building for Senator Godswill Akpabio in the Senate seems to be gathering more momentum, but that of the House of Representatives seems a little bit sketchy at the moment. But we hear that consensus building is heading towards Tajuddin Abbas. But here you are contesting for it yourself. Talk to us about what is actually happening in the House of Reps.
Well, you see, the House of Reps being in a peculiar situation, having about 250, 260 new members, it is a source of concern for the emergence of its leadership. So all sense of concern should be deployed, all care should be deployed in the process of the emergence of the leadership because of the natural dynamics that exist within the politics of the emergence of leadership in the House. Yes, there are quite a number of credible and competent members elect that are running for the speakership, that have declared their aspiration to run the speakership. We know historically when there are issues like that, usually the party is the rallying point. And then at one point, I could remember the party brought us together, appealed to us to slow down, to wait for the decision of the party. With the current rumors going around, we are hearing a lot of things coming from left, right, and center, which we cannot authenticate. We are waiting for the decision of the party. We are waiting to hear from the party what direction are we going to follow. We are all party people. We are all elected on the platform of the party, so we have every responsibility to wait for the decision of the party, and then we can see the way forward. I think in the interim or meanwhile, or what we are hearing, I can see they are merely speculative, they are merely rumors.
Yeah, but haven't your party leaders been speaking with you? I mean, either the president-elect or the national chairman of the APC, especially after the National Working Committee's meeting, which we had thought that there would be zoning.
None of them spoke to any one of us, but I believe they would do that. The leader of the party, the president-elect, being a very strategic person, being a party person, being somebody who has been in party management, I'm very, very sure. Looking at the number of people, looking at the contention in the process of the election of the speakership, I think it is only expedient if they will be careful enough to bring all these contestants, all these people that are aspiring together. We're all friends. We know each other. We know what each one of us can do. So, but I believe we have not reached to that position whereby that point whereby each one of us will be called open. we'll sit down, they look at all these issues, and then from there, I'm sure we'll arrive at a position. I'm very, very certain the APC has the capacity, the leadership has the capacity to get to a point whereby each one of us is carried on board.
Have you been asked to step down for a candidate, and are you willing?
I think we have not reached to that position. If the party, let me be honest with you, I'm a party person. I respect the position of the party. If the party comes up with a position and then decided to say that, hey, this is where we go, it is only an obligation on a party member to accept the position of the party, but we have not gotten there.
I still have with me Honorable Sada Soli here, and we're talking about the race for the speakership, the current developments in the build-up to the 10th Assembly. And I want to talk about how easy it seems like it's going with the Senate when it comes to adopting Senator Godswill Akpabio, though there are still some other people with him. But it looks like the president-elect's body language is being easily accepted in the Senate, while that of the House of Reps seems a little bit rancorous.
I don't think so, but for those that are outside there, not those that are not privy to the politics of the National Assembly will think that it was that easy. Actually, it was the most difficult decision was even to settle the issue of the Senate before they could arrive to this position. It was a very Herculean task. A lot of horse trading, a lot of discussions, a lot of backdoor channel going in, coming out. With the president-elect, it was very, very highly tasking. I don't think it was an easy decision, but thank God, and I'm sure with the tact and the strategy and the goodwill of the president-elect. Let me be honest with you, he has a tremendous goodwill because he has been a supporter of political process of this country, so he has tremendous goodwill across the country, and I think getting things his way, I don't think it is that difficult because of his extensive goodwill.
Well, he's a former federal lawmaker himself, having been senator in the aborted Tory Republic. But now, if what we are hearing is going to be the reality, building a consensus around Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, coming from the same geopolitical zone like you, Northwest, how easy will it be for people like you to want to step down for him? If there's a consensus around him?
If there is a consensus, we see the most important thing is carry people along. Because the lifetime of a parliament is 4 years. It's a very tortuous time. Those of us that knew the politics of the parliament, anybody that jokes with the life of parliament those 4 years and thinks that things will be done outside and then you will just bury them and move along. No. A number of issues can come up in the course of parliament and then it will be very, very difficult to trash out. So the most important thing is to build the consensus, build the understanding, carry everybody along, especially with the turnover. With the turnover of those that are aspiring for this seat is quite huge, and they are very influential, they are very knowledgeable of the parliamentary process, and they have a lot of goodwill on the floor. So the best option is to build the consensus, a formidable one, get all the aspirants together, sit down, regardless from the zone they come from. We're all friends, we know each other, we know the value of each one of us, we have all that common fraternity among ourselves. So what I advise, or what I see ahead of us, is to get us together, sit down, each one of us is amenable to each other because we know each other. And I think building the consensus before the party breaks its silence on this issue is key. Otherwise, what may come up in the course of the life of the parliament, that's what I may not
to talk about. Okay, but let's talk about the speakership itself. Why do you want to be the speaker of the 10th Assembly? I know you've been, former chief of staff to a former speaker before, and then having been a third term, you'll be returning as a third-term federal lawmaker. But what exactly would you want to bring to the table that's different from what others are saying?
You see, Sambo, I'm passionate about the institution of the National Assembly. I was a staff of the National Assembly. We started the structure, the office, the development, and the process of National Assembly from 1992. when I was a young officer. We started the National Assembly when it was just housed in a block of flats. So I saw it all, and I was passionate about the building and strengthening the institution. And then also, because of the importance of the institution of parliament in our democratic process, that also strengthened my passion to see if I can aspire and become the speaker. I have a lot to offer. One, you see, I have the view, I have the opinion, I have the idea to see how we can redefine the way we do our oversight function, because oversight function is a key element of legislation. There is need for it to be redefined to conform with the current happenings, with the reality of the situation, with the reality of the political process of this country. Then also look at the welfare of members. What exists what is the best practice around the world, so that at least we can settle that with the Nigerian public. Let the Nigerian public look at the parliament with their welfare, with their allowances, with the negativity. We open it up. We educate Nigerians. Let Nigerians understand what exists in the parliament. What do we do? How do we do it? And why do we do it?
Okay. Now, we are hearing that some of you in the APC are looking for ways to circumvent whatever agreements that may come up because there are fears of imposition. And some of your members are saying that, look, if there are attempts to impose someone, like we hear Tajuddin Abbas, that some of you may team up with people who call themselves the greater majority. That is the minority who, outnumber the majority in the House of Reps based on the seats that have been won. Should that kind of thing happen, how do you foresee the 10th Assembly?
That is speculative, but it is possible because it had happened before. So that's why I'm appealing to the party. Let the party deploy all its mechanism of trying to smoothen the grounds. God so kind, there is no opposition member looking for this job. So I think in order to have a good takeoff, or whoever emerges, I can guarantee you whoever emerges, and then with the consensus, with carrying along every other member, I don't think there will be any revolt against the party, and I don't think there is any discussion going to team up with the so-called greater majority. The so-called greater majority, they are waiting for the direction of the APC. And I don't think, and it would be tragic for the APC not to give that direction.
All right. Now, just before I let you go, President Muhammadu Buhari, who happens to come from your home state of Katsina, is ending his, 2 terms of 4 years in just a couple of weeks from now. And he says he'll be retiring to Daura and all of that. What's been the assessment? And then especially how are you people receiving the heat? Because, I mean, when you want to come out for House Speakership, people will say, oh, the Northwest has already had 8 years and all of that. So it's a sort of working against you, but what are those things that you will say have defined the Buhari presidency very quickly?
Well, I think, let me just take you up there. If people will relate being speaker with the tenure of Buhari, I think they are wrong, because National Assembly is an arm of government. You see, because of these dynamics that are playing out, actually a political party does not even have any role to do that, because what the Constitution says, elect one among yourselves. But you see, we have to look at some of the dynamics so that we can smoothen, so that it will be inclusive, so that all the bickering will be reduced. Now, going back to President Buhari's tenure and what he has able to accomplish, I think he has done his best, owing to the prevailing circumstances. He came in the most difficult times in the history of this country, when the oil price was so down, when so many challenges were so obvious. He ran the system, he ran the government, and then a lot of other challenges brewed up, and then he has done his best. He has done his best for the fact that he has maintained and remained and held the country one. To this point, I think I can say that he has done very well.
History will be fair to him?
History will definitely be fair to him.
All right.
Somebody will be given a chance. Nigerians will have the opportunity to compare what happened before him, what happened after him.
Okay.
It's just a matter of question. It's a question of time. But I think God has given him his time, and Nigerians have given him his time. And I think in the best I can say, he has done his best.
All right, Honorable Sada Soli is the honorable member representing Keita GBA Federal Constituency, and he will be returning to the 10th Assembly as a third-term federal lawmaker. We can only wish you the best as you also seek the speakership. It's left for your colleagues to see if they can find some sort of confidence in you. But the politics continues, and we must thank you for being on the show.